Please welcome Kimbal Musk, the founder and CEO of Nova Sky Stories, and Curtis S. Chin, the chair of Senior Fellows and Senior Advisor at Milken Institute.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Kimbal. You're here with your lucky hat. This is going to be a lucky, fascinating session. You know, we're going to talk about what you're up to, but what you're up to is so visual. So before we even talk too much, I want you to introduce a little bit of clip to show people what you're up to.
What I'm going to show you, thank you, first of all, thank you for having me, and it's always wonderful to come to the Milken conference. I want to show you this video of a show we did at the Vatican, and I like to say we threw a party in Grandpa's house. We did it for the Pope, and this will give you just a 1-minute teaser of the kind of work we do around the world at Nova Sky Stories, building art in the sky, a new category of live entertainment. I see.
Wow. Kimbal, tell us about what we just saw. Amazing.
Yeah, it's well, first I'll start. I'm so proud of the team that was able to pull that together. This was a company or division of Intel that I acquired 3.5 years ago. I am a patron to experiential art, have been for many years at Burning Man, and one of the artists that works in this medium, which I was a patron of, he told me that Intel was going to shut their division down. It was 2021, and COVID was raging. They had just done the Tokyo Olympics, broken all the world records for the biggest show ever, to no one in the audience. It's heartbreaking. And as a result, Intel, for many other reasons, they also needed to focus, but they were going to close the division. And I was inspired to go talk to them and say, you know, this is a really powerful art medium, let's just keep it going. And they said, no, but if you want to buy it, you can buy it. And I was like, last thing in the world I thought I would be doing. And so here I am a few years later with Intel. Had been working on it for 10 years, and I was growing this business relatively similarly to an art patron. So it's a cash flow positive business, but at the time this is clearly not the kind of scale that I had expected we would get to. And back in 2024. When it was still, at the time, a relatively small idea, I was approached by the Vatican to fly our art. They'd seen one of our shows, which even though we do quite a lot of shows, it's very unlikely you guys have seen one of our shows. But if anyone was here on Tuesday, we did the Zayed History Museum, and it was a phenomenal show for the royal family, the opening of the History Museum. We tell stories in the sky. And anyway, so the Vatican approached me, which I also thought was a bit of a joke. Like, there's no way this is real. They want me to fly our art over the Vatican, over Michelangelo's masterpieces, and took them seriously. And I just said, okay, let's have a meeting. They were happy to have this conversation. It was when Pope Francis was still alive. It was his vision, and bless his heart, he passed away in the middle of this production. And the new Pope, Pope Leo, had to approve it, and I think it was only at that time that they realized what Pope Francis was wanting to do, to fly 3,000 drones. In case you don't know this, the entire Vatican airspace is GPS jammed. No drones can fly there ever, and here we were going to do 3,000 drones. Launching and landing 3,000 drones over several hours, which actually ended up being several days, it's an impossible thing to ask for, unless you're the Pope.
Yeah.
So thankfully, Pope Leo, I don't think he understood at all what he was getting. At the end, he was very happy, but he trusted Pope Francis and let us continue to do it. But in that whole process, I had asked Andrea Bocelli to join. We had a bunch of other musicians participating. Hold on. And Pharrell Williams is a friend, and I asked him if he'd be open to it. He's not Catholic, but he said if he could bring a gospel choir to the Vatican, his vision was 1,000 choir singers. I got him down to 250, but then he got us another 250 locally. We got to 500. He's a great negotiator. We all want the right thing, but his sense of production value is next level. And anyway, we created this show that was fundamentally a story, but it's a celebration. It was the Jubilee, the 2025th anniversary of the church. And the goal was to really touch people in their hearts, to really move people. And my guidance for our artists were, we got to make Grandma cry. This is just a time to do that. And when the Pietà came up, it hit me so hard, and it made me cry. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. I even knew it was coming, and it really hit me. So really proud of that. And now we do hundreds of shows a quarter, and it's growing at an extraordinary pace.
Yeah, we were talking backstage. I'm in from Thailand, actually, and the big hit movie this year, was called How to Make Millions Before Grandma Dies.
Yeah.
And we were laughing about, when you look at this, it's magical, brings tears to some people's eyes. There is an amazing National Geographic story on this specific
In fact, the photo that they have, which is a beautiful photo of the Pietà from a distance, is being nominated for Photo of the Year. So it's one of the top 10 photos of the year. We're not sure if we're going to win yet, but we'll find out.
But it's so amazing. We're a little bit laughing behind the scenes there. And I said, I had to do all kinds of research on you. So of course, not to promote it, but I go to Grok, right? And so I said, Grok, tell me about what you're up to, about this company. And I'm going to just read like 3 or 4 sentences that popped up. And if it's wrong, take it to the boss, right? Grok. The first thing that comes up, it describes Nova Sky Stories, a rising star in drone entertainment. Founded in 2022 by Kimbal Musk, and it does put in parentheses, brother of Elon Musk. After acquiring Intel's drone light division, they're a Boulder, Colorado-based innovator that's quickly becoming one of the most exciting players in drone shows. You provide immersive sky stories using LED-equipped drones for live entertainment. They've set records, and this is from the Intel area. For example, 1,800 drones at the Tokyo Olympics, partnered on events like Coachella with Bjork, and nightly shows at Uluru in Australia, sharing indigenous tales, eco-friendly alternative fireworks, blending tech and art, safe, scalable drone fleets that turn skies into canvases for narratives. 100% true, or how would you tweak that, right?
Grok's great. I would say, I think the most important thing for everyone to appreciate is the importance of the art, and the goal is to move people in their hearts. If we can do that with our drones, we really have succeeded. So we want to make you laugh, we want to make you cry, we want to make you excited, we want to make you afraid, we want to make you curious. That is what we're trying to do. And what the drones do, because it's a brand new art medium, is it cracks your heart open. And so if we deliver on that, your heart is open and ready to receive it. And I think it's this new art medium that is, for now at least, the bar is being raised. We're the ones raising the bar. You can, if you've never seen a drone show, you could even have some clip art in the sky and you'd probably be moved.
Yeah.
But after you've seen a couple, you start to appreciate the power of the art medium, and that is where we really focus at Nova, is recruiting the best animators. We recruit from Pixar, we recruit from Marvel, we recruit from Activision. The best creators, best animators in the world are working for us, and then we also work with the best producers. So producing the Vatican show. Producing the Zayed Museum. Jeremy Stein, our executive producer, is in the house here. That is hard, and we take all of that very seriously. So it's truly about connecting to the audience, making people move in their hearts.
Well, there's a description about what you provide. They're stories, right? With a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's like the story arc and all. And there was a piece that I guess, I don't know if it's an advisory board or board, Katzenberg.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What is that connection? It's like
Sure.
bringing a Hollywood IP, or what is happening right now?
No, so Jeffrey Katzenberg is a legend in storytelling. I got to know him a little bit, but didn't know him too well. But he came to Burning Man, and he saw one of our shows, and he was so impressed that he asked me to do something for him personally for a private group of people. And I think if it was anyone else, I would have just had my team do it. But I was like, no, this is important. I really want to tell a story here. And the goal was, a goal I gave my team was to make people laugh, which is quite hard to imagine drones that kind of, and every time we do, we're kind of learning. So it was a challenge. And we managed to create this absolutely jaw-dropping show that has just flown for him, has not been flown since, that did succeed at getting people to crack their heart open and then laugh. And that was an achievement. And so Jeffrey then agreed to just spend more time with us.
Okay.
He wasn't that interested in getting back into entertainment. He didn't spend enough time on that. And yet he, of course, is one of the legends. And so I spent 3 months convincing him that he's making a mistake. He should be spending more time on this new category. And the fact that it's a new category, we can work with some of the great IP out there. We can create our own IP. We can work. It's truly whatever you can imagine. It's pixels in the sky. So whatever you can imagine, with a little bit of time and energy, we can do it. I have this vision someday to fly The Godfather in high res, 1 mile wide. Everyone listening to the sound on their phone. That's going to take a little while, but we can do that. And we can even turn many of the scenes into three-dimensional experiences. It's really anything is possible. It's just whatever your mind can imagine. The sky is the limit. And Jeffrey eventually started to see that and recently joined as a partner in the business.
I saw one description of when we think about how outdoor entertainment is changing. It's almost like, is this like a third pillar? We know sports events, we know concerts, or does it all come together? The best sports events will have you there. Or
exactly. I mean,
right?
For those looking at trends right now, live entertainment is booming. Movies used to be a way to have communal experiences. They're still there, but it's just not a thing as much to go on a Friday night to the movies with your family. And so the result is there's an outsized demand for live entertainment. And so that means theme parks are busier. That means that concert ticket prices are going up. They're not actually doing many more concerts, but the prices are going up. But where we are seeing this extraordinary growth is more in the $30 to $70 ticket price, live entertainment, where we can fly drone art, which is digital, 1 hour long story. We do a drone art show on nature with live classical music, Vivaldi Four Seasons classical music, and we'll sell 500,000 tickets this year around the world. We operate in 43 countries, and next year we're going to add a show in space, and we're going to license some IP, and there isn't these venues that do sports and they do music. They're empty, 60 to 70% of the year, and that leaves us with a lot of open days, open evenings to fly our content and leverage existing venues that are there.
Yeah. Backstage, we were talking about the business side of this. You're not looking for money. You just did a raise. You got tons of money.
Jeffrey took care of that. So
so we were laughing. What do these people in the audience want? They want to know, where do they see this?
Yeah.
You're in 40 or so countries, but
Yep.
a lot of countries that you're not in. So amazing event here in Abu Dhabi.
So
what's coming up? Right?
We have 3 shows, 3 different things happening tonight even. There's an art festival in Abu Dhabi. There's a desert festival in Liwa. There's another festival in just about 20 minutes outside of Abu Dhabi that we're working in, and so we have 10,000 drones in this emirate, and you'll be able to. If you're here this weekend and you want to experience some of these shows, please. You can look up our Nova website or our social media, and you'll be able to get a feel for what's out there to see. Because it's such a relatively new industry, even though we do so many shows, even in a major city like LA, we might only be there twice a year. So it will take a little while for everyone to experience this. But I really encourage you to come see one of our shows. If any of these shows you're looking at are an hour long or longer, they're our shows. There's no one else can do that.
And you work with a creative partner, or it's like the one that just happened here in Abu Dhabi to celebrate National Day, the opening of the museum. There's a partner you work with, is that?
Well, the Department of Culture and Tourism in Abu Dhabi is really our partner here, and Analog, which is if you haven't had a chance to go see the work they do, working in AI holograms. Those two partners together helped us pull off this extraordinarily high stakes event. Can you imagine flying for the royal family? You got one shot, and we pulled it off. So
it is amazing. So much of this is actually online, but you can never get the feeling of just watching it online.
Yeah.
I mean, this is so dazzling. But imagine if we were all there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Again. I was really intrigued when I thought, you just have all these drones and you just ship them around the world. And you said no, because of regulatory, and there's a whole other dimension I never thought about. Share how that actually works with the country.
So because of the nature of aviation, if we were to move drones around the world, they get stuck in customs by military or by just customs. I mean, when you're trying to ship 10,000 drones, the customs agents are naturally going, what is this? And so it's such a new thing. People don't really know what it is, and so it gets stuck in customs for that reason. But the other reason is you need relationships with local aviation authorities to get access to airspace. So back in the early days with Intel, they would go do Tokyo one-off because it's Intel, they can afford it. We have a different approach because we actually are a business, and we go into a country or an emirate, in this case with Abu Dhabi. We build deep relationships. We dedicate a fleet of 10,000 drones here. We have a creative team, and we work closely with our creative partners here. And we would do that in other countries. We do it obviously in the U.S. and Europe. We're working on some partners to add Brazil, Mexico, Canada. We're already in Australia. We haven't really worked in Asia much since Intel did it. Since I've been involved. Asia will be a big market for us over time, but it's for us. It's always about the creative, the arts, and when we are able to be in Abu Dhabi and get to know what is the art that resonates with this community, because you're trying to move people in their hearts, and if you fly Western art, it doesn't necessarily hit home.
Yeah.
And the same thing the other way around.
Also, I think you've shown in Australia and even
we have Aboriginal art there. It's beautiful.
In the Middle East, you've done it very sensitively, right, to these ancient monuments or things with religious significance. That you've shown that you can do it.
Yeah.
Right. And we were talking also about I'm mainly based in I think Middle East is Asia, but I'm usually in the other part of Asia. And there's tons of drone shows in Asia. Yeah. And if you go online, it's like, this amazing drone show. So I had to go to Grok and say to Grok, I saw this, Dancing Dragon. Is it fake? Are all these drone shows fake? Because, China's got all these drone shows. Share your thoughts on that. It was really interesting when you were talking about China, drone shows, what's real, what's not real.
Well, a lot of it is fake, but honestly, some of the coolest ones you've seen out there are real. The difference, though, is we're not doing it for Instagram. So for us, we're ticketed events. We don't want to give away the show. So if you're trying to break a world record and you want to fly 15,000, which just happened, 15,000 drones, I mean, it's really cool. I mean, honestly, I love that. If I had the time, I would do that too. But we don't have the time. We're really busy. But I think in those kind of markets, whatever their business models are, they have a business model somehow that justifies flying a one-time show with 15,000 drones. To us, that would take months to do properly creatively. You have to have a very, very special authority with the aviation authorities to fly that size of a show. You block out the entire airspace for all the airports nearby. And so anything is possible, but to do it in a way that repeats and is scalable, you actually have to think along the lines of, well, where is the audience going to sit? What's the music they're going to hear? How will they hear the music? Are they going to hear it through speakers? Are they going to hear it through their iPhone? We can do both those things, but you've got to actually have that solved for. And so with these folks, which I think the stuff they're doing is cool, they're trying to get a lot of likes on Instagram. Great. I don't think that's a business model, but go for it because it's cool. But for us, it's about really moving the needle on the creative, working with incredible partners like Abu Dhabi, where we fly 10,000 drone shows, but they are repeatable. They are special, and we have no concern with them being on Instagram, and they are. Many of our shows are extremely popular on Instagram. That's not our goal. Our goal is it's back to the live entertainment category. Uh-huh. That is what people want. They're desperate for live entertainment. So for us, it's about delivering in the moment for that audience.
What's coming up next? We were talking about some of the bigger events. There's a big year in the United States. It's the 250th anniversary of the U.S. We talked about the other trend in entertainment, particularly since the pandemic. It's K-pop. BTS is doing a tour in the U.S. It's like, are you doing partnerships with Korea or K-drama or the U.S. celebration? Are there things scheduled throughout the year?
Well,
what can you
U.S.
share?
celebration for sure. I'm a patriot. I wear the hat. America is great. So we are going to be doing a lot of shows for America's 250th. We don't work in South Korea, so we won't be able to do K-pop anytime soon.
Okay.
But maybe someone in the audience here knows someone from Korea that wants to bring us there. But for us, 2026 is executing on, what will probably be, to give you an idea of our growth, we sold 6,000 tickets to our live events last year. We were just sort of testing the waters. We'll probably sell 500,000 tickets this year, and we're on track to sell 2 million tickets next year. That's about 2% of the industry. Wow. It's a crazy number. And it's because we can come in at a price point that is more affordable, and people really want live entertainment. So we're just focusing on keeping the wheels on the car, growing as fast as we can, hiring the best animators in the world, best pilots, best producers, and obviously best engineers.
Sure. And I went, of course, to my favorite Grok to say, what are the 3 questions I should ask Kimbal? He laughed. So I'm going to read them, and you tell me what. We don't have much time, but you tell me what you want to answer. They had 3. It's all about AI. How will AI enhance drone storytelling? Was number 1. What's the biggest hurdle in global expansion for you? And what is your favorite sky story?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I would say anyone who doesn't integrate AI into their lives in every possible way, you're just putting yourself at a disadvantage. So I told my team 2 years ago that there was $1 trillion going into AI. Get your head in the game and use AI any way you possibly can. Charging you $20 a month, but literally $1 trillion going in. And I was wrong. I think it's 1.3 trillion as of today. So it's like real investment. So anyone who's not using AI, get on the train or get left behind. That being said, I have not found AI to replace the human element. And the animators we hire are truly gifted animators. They're very rare. They are able to evoke emotion in ways that are extraordinary. Our producers that are creating our events, you can't replace someone that really cares about delivering for the live audience that's there. Our pilots, when it comes to safety, they're people. So absolutely we integrate AI. And it's, especially with someone like me who I push so hard for us to use AI as much as we can, I am more reminded of how much AI can't do. Huh. But it's getting better. So we'll constantly be using AI as we grow.
Yeah. Limits on your global expansion?
Sure. So our limits on global expansion are we go country by country. So limits for us would be someone says to us, we want to do a show in Singapore, which we get 20 requests a day for Singapore. Actually, that's a little hard because we would have to base a fleet there, we'd have to build a headquarters, and so it does require, like what happened in Abu Dhabi is a customer that said we would commit to a certain number of shows a year, then we can justify being in the community. So when you go into a country, your different language, different aviation rules, different art, different creative. And so we take that very seriously, and also we're very busy in the countries we're in. So I would say country expansion is the actual country itself. The more welcoming they are to us, the more clear the opportunity is, the more likely we can go in there. I know some of you represent sovereign wealth funds, so that we're not necessarily looking for investment, but your sovereigns would probably want us to be there. So we really are proud of the fact that we are given the honor to fly over the Vatican or the Zayed History Museum. We are really the only, we've done Central Park, we've done the United Nations. We're really the only player that's trusted to not just fly safely, but also to honor the venue. Absolutely. You know, when you're playing at that level, the White House, you know, things like that. So I think, did I answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah, and really, as we come to a close, you've done so much.
Oh, so what was my favorite Sky story? I want to answer that.
Your favorite Sky story?
Yeah, I want to answer what was my favorite Sky story. So before I bought this division from Intel, and part of the reason I think I was so insistent on not letting this art medium die was my wife is a spoken word poet. And she writes poetry, but she speaks it and she performs. And I asked her, well, I'm not sure if I asked her or if I was just in the community with the artists, and it ended up being so that she did a spoken word poem to a beautiful, what we didn't even call them Sky Stories at the time, a beautiful drone show done by this artist named Drift, and the two of them together. I realized that it went from an art piece, which would be a typical drone show, to a story where you are following the story and the story arc, and you were moved in your heart in a way that music alone cannot do. And that is still my favorite Sky story to this day. It still moves me, and was the vision that helped me create the vision for Nova Sky Stories.
Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you join me in giving a big hand to Kimbal.
Thank you for having me.
On behalf of the Milken, thank you for joining us again. We hope to see you in Singapore and Mexico and all around the world. But thank you again. What a beautiful video. A lot more is online. Maybe it's going to make you cry, make you laugh. And it ends, not to tell the ending, with like a big joy.
Yes, that's
the
right.
Sky.
Pharrell Williams, I said, we want to make Grandma cry. But he's like, yeah, but we're also going to bring joy to the world. I'm like, yes, we'll do both.
All right. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. The session will begin momentarily. Thank you for your patience.